Okay, we're out here looking at the Orion SpaceProbe 3 telescope. It's a very basic beginner telescope, but it's actually in its class. It is one of the best for about 120 bucks. You're really not going to find anything better unless it's maybe stolen or hot or, you know. So one of the most obvious things about this telescope is make sure you take the lens cap off. And if you look down inside there, you can see the mirror. That needs to be pointing towards the sky. This is the end of the telescope that you point towards the stars or whatever it is you want to look at. So you can just make sure this end is pointing out towards the stars. This end back here, that is not where you're going to look. I've seen these things set up where people are sitting here like this, trying to look this way, and it's just not going to work. So make sure the eyepiece end is pointing towards the stars or whatever it is you're planning to look at. Focusing is very simple. When you're using eyepieces, use the eyepiece with the biggest number first. That's going to be your lowest magnification, which is going to be much easier to find things using low magnification. And almost all the time you want low magnification anyway. So, and this scope is, it's a 3-inch, so it is modest in size, but for the capabilities you get for the money are actually quite good. And this is one of the telescopes I recommend most to people who are just starting out and can't afford a whole lot. It will give you very satisfying views of the moon, actually excellent views of the moon, and it's got enough power to show you some basics on Jupiter, Saturn, and you'll see Venus, you'll see the shape of it, but don't expect to see all kinds of detail. No telescope shows anything on Venus because it's permanently shrouded in clouds. So do not fool around with these screws unless you know what you're doing, or you will misalign the telescope. If you really have to align this thing, you're best off getting a collimation tool. There's some screws back here that you're going to turn. But don't just start turning those randomly because you're going to foul up the alignment. Won't hurt anything, but your image quality will suffer. So again, very, very basic telescope, but make sure this end points out to the stars. Otherwise, you will not see anything. Other than that, that's about it. Very basic, but very fine telescope for the money. Don't expect to get the same views you would out of a telescope that's, a few $1,000s. This is about a $100 to $120 telescope. This is the alt-azimuth version, and for the money, you really can't do a whole lot better.